Welcome to another Demystify the Divine weekly readings and tools to connect. Super pumped to be here today. Just wanted to check in with everyone. How's the week been? Because I know my week was a complete shit show. I did basically nothing but cry. And let me tell you something, I am not a crier. I am like one tiny little earth sign in my chart and I'm all air. So I'm very like rational, logical, all this kind of stuff. So it takes a lot to get me to cry. And that's all I did this past week. So
all right. I will not send you any more pictures of me in a bathing suit. Sorry. Please.
That actually would probably be tears of happiness and joy, not the tears of frustration. And I want to pull my hair out by the roots and stop the world I want to get off.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it was insane. So if there's anyone else out there who had that kind of a week, just throwing it out there that you are not alone. It was insane. But I do feel that the energies are shifting somewhat. I mean, we are in a tumultuous energy period, end of story. We're going to be like this for another few years. So, you know, it is what it is. We have to just sort of embrace it. But I do feel that the energy is sort of shifting and moving and flowing a little bit more for us at this time. And we're moving out of that sort of heavier energy and more into, I want to say, the light, creative, productive creativity actually is what I'm hearing. So really excited to be moving into that energy. So welcome to Demystify the Divine. So excited that we are cross streaming. We are here live on YouTube and we are also live on Facebook, my Facebook channel, The Black Feather Intuitive. And I am also recording today for the first time live on Insta, on my Insta channel, because I don't want to leave my Insta peeps out. So really excited about doing that. And I'm finally getting into the 21st century. Woohoo! So for those of you who are returning and your loyal fans, thank you so much for being here. So happy to have you and to share your light and your energy. Feels really, really good. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. So excited to have you here. Take what works for you, leave the rest behind. There's always a little bit of nonsense and shenaniganery when we are here. Keone and I have a really good chemistry where we poke fun at each other, basically.
Is that what you call it? Chemistry?
Well, it's a poking fun chemistry is what I would call it.
All of my former bosses called it incompetence on my part, but that's okay.
Well, I don't feel incompetence. I actually feel like, oh, we can banter. Fabulous. It's not just the Stacy show, bobblehead Stacy. So yeah, I'm loving it. So here's what to expect. First of all, if you like what you see here, feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube channel, always releasing fun stuff. And you definitely want to get notifications on when I'm going live, when I'm posting new stuff. There's always something fun to do, to know, to learn, to watch. Also, feel free to like and enter into your comments today on Facebook, anything that you got going on. If you're liking what you're seeing, if you're loving, if you're laughing at it, we would love to be able to receive that guidance and that interaction is what I mean from you and with you. That's awesome. And for those of you on Insta, so happy that you're here. If you'd like to join us and so that you can see me face on, please join the YouTube channel, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. Really excited to have you, and feel free to comment and whatever you'd like to do as well. Very excited to have you. So what I do is I channel our word of the week, and sometimes it's a phrase of the week. I tap into our dream team and they sort of give us a guided message for what to expect for the week to come. Then I do an archangelic supportive channeling, and that's when I remember to do it. Sometimes I do a little later because I get into the flow and I'm like, oh, we're off to pull a card. It's time to pull a card. But it'll happen. You'll get an archangel channeling at some point in our connection today. And then we do a pull a card section where we do a general reading. I pull a tarot and an oracle card, and we do a general reading that is connected to the word of the week or the phrase of the week that we receive. And then we have a really cool grab your deck section, which is an opportunity for you to grab your decks, and we get to help you take the general message and to make it more individualized for you using your own decks. And that's really cool, especially for those of you who are really wanting to build a relationship with tarot or your oracle decks, or really wanting to build up your confidence in using it and being able to receive that message and knowing what that message is for yourself. So really want to connect with you in those ways. And of course, we do kind of a Q&A in that grab your deck section. So if you want to join us live, we would love to have you on camera. If you're a little camera shy, we'd love to have you on audio.
She's doing my job.
I am doing your job. Oh my goodness.
Well, two things, Stacey. Number one, stop forgetting the channeling, because one time you're going to go to channel out of order and the archangels are going to tell you they're busy. So you're going to be messed up there. All right.
Yeah, I don't want to get on the archangel's bad side. That's for sure.
And just to be clear, she said, grab your decks. Okay. Your decks. Grab your decks. All right? When you say it the first time, you kind of speed through it, and it could be a little wiggle room in there. Grab your decks. Okay.
And with me, because I have a dirty mind, I could potentially, it could fly out of my mouth that I would say something completely inappropriate like that too. So there you go. But good calling me out. I love it. All right. Well, let's get ready. Let's dive in. I'm going to close my eyes and go into my happy place here, and let's get our word of the week. Bring your A game. All right. So this week, the energy from and the messaging from our guides is to really bring the A game. And when we hear this term, of course, I am an A-type personality. So right away, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta, up the ante. I gotta really be on the ball and making sure that I got all my I's dotted and T's crossed, and I know what's coming through. But bring the A game. What they're talking about right now is the archangels. Bring the archangels. Bring the A game. It's an invitation to ask for what you need this week. So we're going to talk about this in a couple of different layers here, but so many times we get focused on our spiritual path and what is it that I'm actually supposed to know, and what am I supposed to be doing, and am I receiving the right information? Is this my ego voice, or is it my inner guidance? That we actually forget to ask the archangels. We forget to ask our dream teams for help. And it's as simple as, you know what? I'm feeling a little confused right now. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. Archangels, please come in and help me. Give me a little guidance. Archangels, let me know which voice I'm supposed to follow. Archangels, I'm struggling to know what to say to this person. Speak through me. Archangels, I need a boost. I'm confused and I don't understand what's going on, and I need a boost. Archangels, please give me a boost. They cannot intercede on our behalf unless we give them permission. So it doesn't have to be, I always, like to joke, you don't have to dance naked in the rain under the moonlight, singing, chanting Om, or, singing some, cuckoo song in order to connect. All you have to do is say, oh, wait a second. My team is with me. They're all around me. They're within me. So all I need to do is take a moment to be intentional about saying, I've got help here. I've got Google. We all have Google on our phone. It takes us 2 seconds. We all think about going to Google. Well, it's time to Google the archangel, but you don't even have to do it on your phone. You just got to think it, and there it is. And you don't even need to know what archangel to ask for, or what spirit guide or what ascended master you need to ask for in that moment. You can just simply say, dream team, someone from my dream team, a representative, please come and help me out. Here's what I need, and bring it on. And I'm open to receiving. On a physical level and kind of an everyday level, I feel that the Bring Your A game is also inviting you to remember to ask for help from our 3D people. The individuals that are in our inner circle, the individuals that we work with on a daily basis. Going to the grocery store, you can't find the ingredient that you're looking for. Some people don't have a problem with asking for help. Some people like us, empaths and super sensitive, sometimes it's like, I don't want to ask. Sometimes we're just shy, but sometimes it's like, ooh, this energy is too kooky. I wish I could just kind of go in, figure out what it is that I need, and go out, right? Well, there's an energy here this week of reminding ourselves that we can simplify our lives if we only open ourselves to receiving some help, receiving some guidance. It doesn't make us any less of a person. It doesn't mess with our energy. In fact, it lightens our energy, and it helps us to move more forward on our paths. So bring your A game is bring in the archangels, bring in the ask. So if you're not an archangel person, you don't have to call in the archangels, call in whoever you want, high self, energy, spirit, universe, source, whatever floats your boat. The A is actually for ask. So bring your ask game. And no, it's not ask game, Keone. I know that's what you're going to say to me. It's not ask game, it's ask game. So heading him off at the path there. I knew he was thinking about bringing it up. So now we've made the show dirty.
I said nothing. Okay. It has actually been, I think, 33 days I've counted since the last time you said shake your booty. So
well, there we go. I said a different version of it today.
Yeah, so we'll reset the clock.
So we've reset the clock. Exactly. So bring your ask game, and don't be afraid to involve your spirit guides, your dream team, source. They're here to help, and that's what we need. So now I am going to connect with the Archangelic Collective and see who wants to come through to, I want to say, enhance the message, or sometimes they give us a message that has nothing to do with our word of the week. So let's just see what comes up. Greetings, dear ones. I am Archangel Chamowell. I have enjoyed coming into this space to connect with all of you on a regular basis. I am coming today into your space to convey words of inspiration and direction, as I am known as the Archangel of Love and Peace. And as you are discussing and considering how to use our energies to support your paths and involving yourself in asking for our help, it is also important that you realize that we are all here to do just that. It is our purpose to help humanity and those who are on the planet also to help humanity to move into greater vibrational energies and a greater awareness of self in relation to collective consciousness, and eventually to move you forward into the galactic community that you are truly a part of. Because there is much unrest and discord on the planet, many of you feel that you cannot attain peace and maintain it for long. And this is why we invite you to ask us for support. It is what we are here to do, and we do it with much love and much hope for your ascension forward. When she speaks of the A game, it is intentional to be a bit humorous, for you all need some humor to smooth the waters that you are all in. We will not pretend that your experience is anything other than these rocky waters, but we can supply tools, information, and energy to bring purpose and vision to these emotional and energetic waters that you are all in. We are so pleased to be invited into your journey. Do not hesitate when you are feeling stuck or overwhelmed or deeply saddened by what you experience. These are perfect times and opportunities to reach out. And it only takes a thought, one word, for we know your hearts and we know your intentions. You use words, we use telepathy, we use energy. We receive what you need before you have even spoken the words. Trust in us to be there to help you. Trust in us to know the way and to surround you in our wings of energetic love. We thank you for this opportunity to connect. I feel like Chamowell has come through a lot for us.
He has come through a lot. I was just going to say that. And he was really mouthy today.
Yes, he's normally, I want to say, smoother. It felt like pulling teeth for me. Usually when that happens, where it's not as much of a flow, it's usually because there's a higher level of energy that is being transmitted. So for those of you who have never experienced a channeling with me before or experienced channeling at all, it's not only the message, the words that you're receiving, they also take the opportunity to send energy through that experience. And I feel like that's what happened today, is not only are you receiving the message, but they're also giving shifting energy. And it usually shifts based on whatever you need in that moment. So if it's a shift in healing or a shift in clearing or a shift in a boost of your energy, that's usually what shows up. So yeah, really, really kind of interesting that Chamowell's coming through. Oh my God, I'm choking on my own spit. So what time is it, Keone? All right, so today we are going to pull cards from the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey. And let's see what the accompanying message is, sort of for our A game. Sometimes with the cards, they are a direct accompaniment to the original message, and sometimes they kind of go off on their own. So let's see what we got today. Oh, interesting. 7 of Orbs. So in this deck, Orbs represents swords. So it's the realm of air, mental energy, the mind, intuition, intuitive thoughts, communication, legal matters. We've got a 7 of Orbs. So 7 of Orbs in the traditional tarot is 7 of Swords. And a lot of people, when they are learning the traditional tarot, especially the Rider-Waite, this is a card of integrity. This is a card of truthfulness and dishonesty, and who is lying to you. There might even be a little betrayal. But there's also, on the flip side of that, there's the, how can I, stay in my integrity when other people make different choices. In the traditional tarot, there's a guy in front of a tent, and he's got all these swords that he's carrying in his hands, and there are people sort of a little bit further away at the tent, and they're not seeing him. And you could read it as he's stealing their swords so that he, has more weapons to fight them with. Or maybe you can interpret it as he's taking the swords so that he doesn't have to fight. Maybe he's taking his, so if we think of swords as words, maybe he's taking his words and he's going to give a little more thought to what it is that he wants to say before he says it. So the Seven of Orbs is really inviting us this week, I feel, to give pause to how we choose to communicate with each other. And, you know, I've talked about it before, and I'm going to talk about it again because we are in a Mars in Gemini sort of retrograde thing for the next few months. I think it's happening until March, sometime in March. So there is, I want to say, more emphasis and influence on how we are choosing to communicate with one another. And I really feel like when we're looking at this particular card here, we've got this beautiful hot air balloon that's full of, you know, beautiful bright colors, and all of these orbs are in the sky. Well, is the guy grabbing the orbs, or is he releasing them? Is he dropping them off? And there's, you know, someone here watching. And are they watching in awe? Are they watching in fear? What are they watching? And I feel like the question really is for you, your thoughts. Are your thoughts looking at the world from the perspective of everyone is out to get me? Or are your thoughts looking at the world and saying, oh, wait a second, there's a way to shift here. There's a way to really be aware of my communication and know that my communication can ascend me and those around me, or it can descend, right? It can deflate. If you think of a sword or a sword as a word or a thought or a sentence, you can cut someone in two with your words. You can cut them to the quick, or you can lift and elevate them. So this week, I feel when they're talking about bring the A game and bring the ask game, it's also an invitation to really step into your integrity. So if you're going to ask for help and ask for assistance, be prepared to take that help and that assistance and apply it. And really understand that when you're receiving it not only for yourself, you're receiving it for those that you are interacting with at the same time. We can all benefit from each other's energy. We can all benefit from our own integrity, and your integrity level might be different than someone else's, but you can both benefit from each of you stepping up into your own integrity. It's both of you kind of rising to the highest and best version of yourselves that you can be in that moment. And the act or the intention of wanting to be in that highest potential is what matters and what counts. Not so much if you're, you know, judging someone else's integrity levels. It's not about that. It's not a tit for tat. It is more of is that person striving to be the best that they can be in that moment at the same time that I'm striving to be the best that I can be. And seven is a number of manifestation, and it's manifestation at its highest peak. So you also want to recognize that your thoughts, your words, your communication matters. And so it's important that you're recognizing that everything that you're saying and thinking and then saying is manifesting itself. Whether it's manifesting itself in really big, powerful, obvious ways, or it's manifesting itself that it's going to, you know, come around at another time in another area and sort of bite you in the ass like a mosquito. There's still that energy of, oh, there was something there that I manifested. I brought it. I'm not saying, you know, we bring bad things to ourselves. I'm saying when you are thinking and you're unaware of what you're thinking, you're unaware of what you're putting out there, there's stuff that can come to you that you're like, oh my God, why is this happening? There's some aspect of your experience that had a fleeting thought, or had a thought that was, I want to say, incongruent with how you really truly felt about it. And the universe brought it around to say, hey, you might want to manifest something different. So this card is coming up and coming through for us this week to really remind us that words matter, communication matters. And if we are really co-creators of our lives, which PS and FYI, we really are, then we are responsible for what it is that we're putting out into the world. That's thoughts and things. Now, caveat here, this is not to give anyone fear that, oh my God, you know, I have 17,000 thoughts in a day, you know, and I know that I tend to be a more anxious person or worry wart or whatever, like, oh my God, I'm bringing all this stuff to me. It doesn't work quite that way. But what you want to understand is energy is alive and energy never dissipates. It simply transforms. So when you're having these thoughts, whether they take full shape, or they are, floating sort of in the ethers, what you want to understand is you can always transform your thoughts. You can always transmute a thought that you don't necessarily want out there by shifting it around, by acknowledging, oh, I just said something there that I didn't actually mean. Let me correct that, universe. Let me correct that right now. Dream team, help me to negate that energy, or help me to transmute that energy into something that is more in alignment with what I really feel, what I believe, what I really desire, with my core essence, not my ego voice, not my fear voice, not with the falseness of anxiety or sadness or whatever. My core essence is where I can dive into my truth, and that is what helps me to rise in my integrity and to rise into what it is that I'm manifesting. Some really powerful messaging there with the Seven of Orbs. So now we are going to pull a card from it's a brand new deck, hot off the presses yesterday. This is an individual that I'm not familiar with, but I happened to come across this in my Amazon feed, because Amazon sends you the things you might like based on your previous purchases. And damn, they're right. And this is Raven Digitalis, and it's the Empath Oracle. And I absolutely love the colors. I love the artistry in this. The messaging's really cool. So here is our message. Taking a vow. So I find this really interesting because we've been talking a lot about communication, speaking our words matter. And now we're talking about taking a vow. Well, we can take vows in many different ways this week. And I think this is something in the card even that he talks about. Like, you can choose to take a vow of silence. You can choose to take a vow of celibacy. You can choose to take a vow of abstinence, of food or sex or sociability, whatever it happens to be. You can take a vow to abstain from or embrace yourself in, or immerse yourself in, just about anything. So taking a vow this week, I feel, is commentary from our dream team on understanding that if we are bringing our A game, we need to take a vow to be in that space. We need to be present. It's not something that, you're watching this. We're all in this together right now. And as soon as you sign off or whatever, in one ear and out the other. No, I feel like the message is really be aware of what you're saying, because everything that comes out of your mouth in essence is a vow, because it's like a contract with the universe. There's an energetic component there. There's an energetic contract. So taking a vow means, and I'm seeing with this beautiful energy, there's a lot of stuff going on in his head or her head with their head. So you want to make sure that you're being clear with what you are gravitating to in your mind. And you want to make sure that you're being clear on what you are vowing to do. Again, this is not to invoke fear that if you make a vow and you decide, 3 days into it, this doesn't feel good. You can always make a different choice, and just recognize, what did I learn from that experience? What did I learn? Why did I choose to take a vow of this? And 3 days later, I'm going, oh my God, I don't like this, or I can't do this. There's a lot of wisdom in the experience. So evaluate the experience, but understand that what we speak involves a bit of an energetic contract with the universe. So what vows do you want to take with the universe? Bring your integrity into it. Understand that you want to elevate yourself. You want to, continue to have that balloon ascend rather than descend. And I like to see him as, sort of releasing the orbs, the thoughts that are no longer really working, that are weighing him down, so that he can, sort of ascend and continue on that. And he's taking a vow to do that. He's bringing his A game. He's asking for help. And he's taking the A vowel. He's taking the ask vowel. Bring your A game, and now we're taking a vow. Can't make this shit up, peeps. I mean, this is synchronicity. This is our dream team speaking directly to us, using the tools and the resources that we have right in front of us. So be open and aware to what is going on around you. Super, super important. Also, it's a 20, which I think is interesting, because 20 is 2. So there's union, pairing, partnership, sometimes duality as well, in how that unfolds. Well, we're talking a lot about communication. Well, you have communication that's one-on-one, 2 or more. You have communication with the voices in your head, with your high self as well as yourself. We truly never really are alone. We truly never really are alone. We may feel individual, but there's always stuff going on up here as well. So 2 is the energy of what we're in. It's relationship with self and relationship with others. So that is our message for the week. Hoo. Holy cannoli. All right. So what time is it, Keone? Grab your decks, peeps. Grab your decks. So you can use an oracle deck for this. You can use a tarot deck for this. Grab your favorite deck. Grab a deck that maybe you bought like years ago and you're afraid of it. You're a little intimidated by it. And let's have a little bit of fun learning how to interpret the cards in that very intuitive way so that we really can receive the dream team's messages for us and really be able to apply that in a personal way. So I'm going to just go into my happy place here for a second, and I'm going to channel 2 different questions that we can pull cards with that our dream teams want us to use to bring us more into the individual. And Keone, take it away.
All right. Oh, my camera is crazy right now. Retrograde. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Demystify the Divine Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Please remember, we will take anyone live first. And if you have any questions for Stacy or would like your card read, please put it in the Facebook chat or please put it in the YouTube chat. If you can hear me out there in Instagram land, if you want to come on and get read, please join the YouTube channel at the Black Feather Intuitive, and you'll see the live button just like on Instagram. Click on the live and you'll be able to put in your questions. Please tell us if you would like us to pull a tarot card or an oracle card for you. If we have time, we'll do both. When we start to get a little later in the time, we'll pull one of those cards for you. And go ahead and do that. Also, at the end of this episode, I'll be putting a link in the chat. If you want to watch Stacy get interviewed tomorrow live at Georgina's restaurant and learn a little more about Stacy and her background, you can go ahead and tune into that at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. So that'll be fun as well. For those of you who don't know too much about Stacy, we're gonna dig into her personal life and get her to spill a couple of those beans.
Oh, more than happy to. More than happy to.
If you live in North Carolina and you're near the Morrisville area, then you can join us live and in person at Georgina's restaurant in Morrisville. I'll mention that back at the end, but Stacy's done. Oh, these are short questions today. All
yes,
right. Usually I'm running out of breath while you're writing down the questions, but you beat me today. All right.
I did. I got to keep you on your toes, Keone.
All right.
All right. So here are our 2 questions for our Grab Your Decks. The first question is, what energy can I use to bring more awareness to my A game? And the A game is, how do we ask, right? The A game is our archangels or our dream team, but it's our ask. How do I need to ask? What do I need to ask? Who do I need to ask? The second question is, what energy wants to become my vow this week? I'm really looking forward to some of these. All right, Keone, who's up? I think you're on mute.
I'm not on mute. I'm just not on the screen yet. Well, last week we had Ragu, so you know who we got this week. Just take a wild guess.
Indu.
You really are a psychic.
I told you I'm psychic. I know.
Hey, well, you got to tell everybody how the scary thing that happened to me.
The scary thing that happened.
I took a nap and I woke up.
Oh,
and in my nap, Stacy texted me a bunch of stuff that we needed to talk about. And I woke up and I kept looking in my text and I couldn't find the text that she sent me. So I called her. I said, didn't you send me a text today? She said, no, I started to send you a text, but I didn't. And then I told her all the things that she was going to text me, and it scared the hell out of me.
He really was.
Scared the hell out of me.
I'm like, well, dude, you know that we're both psychic. Like, there's a psychicness going on here. And if you don't think you're psychic, then I'm rubbing off on you because that's what happens.
What is today's show turning into? You're rubbing off on me. All right, we're going to let Indu in here, and I'm going to get out of the way.
I think that's a good idea. Hey, Indu, how are you?
Good. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Naomi. Nice to be here.
Yes, nice to see you. So what deck are you pulling from today?
It's the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards, Doreen Virtue.
Awesome. So our first card pull, what energy can I use to bring more awareness to my A game? What did you pull?
I pulled Vesta.
Ooh, so she's all about hearth and home.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Okay, so before I go into the message, I want you to look at the card and tell me the very first thing you are drawn to.
It's the orangish yellowish color, the vibrancy of the sacral chakra. And a pot that seems to be filled with something that's hot and bubbling coming to the top.
Okay, so I want you to visualize taking a little drink out of that cup. And what do you taste?
I don't know. I don't taste anything.
Well, what's in the cup?
It's just water, and water is very satisfying. It's nurturing. I feel nurtured, but I don't feel any taste.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. So you're taking a drink of something. You're not sure. It doesn't have a taste, but it is water, and so it feels nurturing.
It's nurturing. It's calming.
That's perfect.
It's energetic. It's something really energetic, and something good. There is a mysterious smile on this lady's face, and she says, just hang on, just wait a couple minutes, you're going to get something nice, and be open to receiving. Good things are coming your way. That's the message.
Well, look at that. So you just got a whole huge message in there about, I'm hearing patience. She disappeared, Keone, from the screen. You got a message about patience. You got a message about nurturing, about a lot of energy coming up and energy coming through. So what energy can you use to bring more awareness to your A game? I feel that it is the water. It's the nourishment of life and being simplistic. Water is the simplest thing. It's the one thing that we need to survive, right? Like we can live without food for a particular period of time, but we cannot live without water, right? That's the thing that'll do us in. So nurture yourself, nourish yourself. And that's what's going to bring your A game to you is the awareness of the basics, not simplicity. It's the awareness of the basics. So I want to say this week, it's going back to the basics, going back into okay, when I'm struggling, I'm just going to close my eyes and breathe and see what that breath is. When I'm feeling a little stressed, I'm going to take a pause and maybe have a nice cool sip of water and just be aware of how the water, feels going down my throat and feeling the nourishment spreading, feeling that thirst being quenched throughout my body. So that feels really, really good. What energy can I use to bring more awareness to my A game? Love that. That's beautiful. And you can drink the cup without any taste. You don't have to taste it.
See, that's water. That's water for you.
Exactly. I love it. All right. Your second card pull is what energy wants to become your vow this week?
Okay. The second card is Irene. Peace.
Ooh, cool. What is the word peace? Oh, very cool. Well, Archangel Chamowell, I feel, is coming through again with that card because he's the Archangel of Peace. So there's no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that. So the energy that wants to become your vow this week is to not worry. I vow to not worry. I vow to be in my peace at all times. No matter what is going on around me, I vow to be in my core peace. So call on that particular goddess energy to help and support you, and call on Archangel Chamowell, who came through for us before, the Archangel of Peace. That, again, is a huge synchronicity that we cannot ignore.
And the mantra for the week is, it is what it is.
It Exactly. I think I said that in this reading earlier about, we have to just sort of accept where things are at. And if I didn't, I just said it in a reading recently, today at this point, because it all starts to run in together. But that really is where we're at. We have to get to that place of complete surrender to what is, in order for us to be able to move forward into what can be, and it's very easy for us to get caught up in not doing that and getting caught up in the monkey mind and the worry and the fret. And what does that bring for us? It brings anxiety. It doesn't really bring a whole lot of help or support. It doesn't change anything, right? It keeps us stuck. So for you, your vow is to be in that space of peace.
Thank you.
Love it. My pleasure, girl. Hi, Raiku. The mystery hand.
Bye, Keone. Thank you. Bye, Stacy.
Have
a great night. Thank you. Bye, Raiku.
All right. So I have a statement said earlier when we talked about asking questions and channeling. Here is, I always butcher this name. I'm just going to say Dragonfire. It says, I've been asking every day. Nothing is happening. I'm in limbo. So what can you say to people who have been asking questions, but they haven't either noticed the answer or maybe they haven't gotten the answer? So how do you kind of guide that person?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Amethyst Dragonfire, for submitting your comment, because a lot of people feel that way. And there are a couple of different reasons why you can feel like you're asking and nothing's happening. One is that you're overlooking the message or the delivery of the message. And this was something that happened to me a lot before I really started to kind of open up into understanding how I tick. Is that I was looking for the big aha moments. I was looking for the proverbial burning bush. I was looking for the voice from the sky saying, you need to do this, or this is right. And often it comes through in very subtle ways. So it's easy for us to say, okay, I've manifested this, or I've been asking for questions around this. And we get it in our heads that it's going to show up in a certain way. But really, it's going to show up differently. And it's going to show up sometimes very creatively, because they have to be creative in being able to orchestrate and navigate the sign that's going to land right in front of your face when you're, out for your walk and getting that message. So that's one way to, I want to say, kind of explain when sometimes we do feel in limbo is I'm going to say, keep it simple. Look for the simplicity. And the easiest way to do that is to, our body is our psychic antenna. So if you are out of the body, if you're in your head all the time and you're not really physically present in the body, you can miss cues. You can miss subtle signs and cues that the body is giving you around what you need to pay attention to. Also, something that's just popping into my head is paying attention to those numbers. People call them angel numbers or synchronistic numbers, 111, 222, 333, things in sequence, numbers that just keep, getting your attention. That's usually an indicator as well that you need to get into the body, because there's something in your environment that you might be missing or overlooking. They're trying to give you information and you keep overlooking it because you're not paying attention to the numbers, or not stopping to say, what is the actual message? I can tell someone's trying to communicate something to me. I'm open to receiving. Again, go bring your A game, bring the ask. I'm open to receiving the message. Give me the message. What is the message? What is it that I'm supposed to be receiving? Another thing, and this is one that I'm feeling is kind of connected specifically to your energy today. So you take what works for you and you leave the rest behind. Sometimes what we do is when we're asking every day, and we're manifesting every day, we're resetting the clock without realizing it. So one of the biggest secrets to manifesting and making that really work is you only have to ask for what you want once. Then you need to release it. Say, thank you, universe, for making it so. Like, thank you so much for bringing all of this to me. I'm open to receiving all of it. And I'm letting it go now because I know that it is my reality. I know that it is my truth. I believe that you're bringing it to me. And, thanks, universe, bring me more. And now what I'm going to do is every day, rather than re-asking for the same thing over and over again, I'm going to now say, I know that it's already in my reality. It's here for me. And I'm going to instead of ask for the same thing again, I'm going to take a little snippet and imagine how I'm going to feel when that actually transpires. So I'll just give you a, sort of an analogy, and nothing really specific is coming to mind. So I'm just going to pull this out of my butt. But I want the strawberry pie. Okay. So I've asked for the strawberry pie. I've asked for it to be delivered. I have no idea how I'm going to get this strawberry pie. But I've put it out there, and I believe that the universe is going to bring me this delicious strawberry pie. And I'm kind of curious about the adventure of how it's going to show up, or the creative flow of how it's going to show up. And then it doesn't show up the day that I ask. And so the next morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, I can taste that strawberry pie. I'm sitting eating this piece of strawberry pie with my dad. And he's looking at me funny while I'm eating the strawberry pie because he can't stand strawberries. And he's cracking jokes and all the rest of it. And I've got all of this beautiful, delicious strawberryness. And I get a little red on my cheek. And oh my God, we just had the best time. That's your manifestation for the day. And then the next day, maybe it shows up and maybe it doesn't. Well, then you go into, oh, I just I had an extra piece. I got an extra pie. Someone delivered me 2 pieces of pie. So I was able to give it to this kid at the table next to me. And this kid really enjoyed it. And we were joking and talking and laughing about how much we both love strawberry pie. It's envisioning these things. So what you're doing in essence is you're reinforcing the image, you're reinforcing the manifestation, you're reinforcing the ask, the prayer, the mantra. You're reinforcing rather than resetting it. Because if you keep asking for the same thing, the universe gets the impression that you're not ready for it. So that could definitely be affecting why you're in limbo. One final thing to talk about with limbo. Sometimes the universe is like, listen, we know you want it. We are so going to bring it, but we have to wait because you're actually not ready for it yet. Or we want to take care of this because when we bring this in combination with what you've asked for, it's going to be even more amazing than you could imagine. But it's going to take a little bit of time and orchestration. And we see from a higher perspective where you're at with that. You don't see it from your limited vantage point looking up, and you only have, your, a little bit of the periphery, but they can see the whole enchilada, right? So with limbo, sometimes it's that we get impatient and we try to micromanage the universe. And we're like, okay, I asked for it 2 minutes ago. Where the hell is it? Come on, universe, get on it. Other times it's, listen, we're on it, but there are other factors at play that you don't know about yet, that we need to navigate so that we can give you what you want and even better. So I understand limbo, and I'm going to just share with you guys that because I am very driven and A-type, and, I'm used to, like, I get an idea, boom, off like a shot I go. So I can totally handle yes. Give me a yes, I'm all about it. Give me a no, I don't like no, but I can work with no because at least I have a direction now of where I want to go. You're saying no, so I'm going to find a different way to do it. You give me a maybe or a wait, it's torture, right? Because it's that limbo. So I invite all of you to embrace the Hanged One in the tarot, which is the limbo card, and recognize that we can choose to sit and fret in that limbo, or we can choose to say, you muted me. Okay, I'm unmuted.
No, it wasn't me. It just happened. That was weird.
Oh, okay. Well, we got Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, because I didn't touch anything.
That's so funny. So I forget where I was at with that. But anyway, limbo. Limbo is not always great, but we can choose to see it as or we can choose to see it as an opportunity to rest up, to recharge, to stop and smell the roses, to take that moment to do something on our to-do list that we haven't been able to get to. Read that book that's been on our list for a year. Call a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while. Go walk in that park that you haven't been to or that you'd like to go to. So it's shifting the perspective around limbo. So a long explanation, but I feel that a lot of people go through that, Amethyst. I really do feel that a lot of people go through that. So don't despair. You're not broken. It's not that you're not receiving anything. It's that there's still, the cake's baking. There's still some stuff going on. So get connected to the body. See if you are, maybe rewriting or resetting the clock, and shift how you're doing that. And then just believe fully that you're worthy and deserving of what it is that you asked for, and that you're open to receiving it. Thank you, universe. Bring me more. Thank you, universe. Bring me more.
I was told by a psychic about a decade ago when I asked that question, they said, well, two things. He said, Keone, sometimes you're asking the wrong question. And another one is sometimes you're asking the question you want to ask instead of the question you need to ask. And I was like,
oh, beautiful. Yes, those are two very great points. Yeah.
All right. Sue, we've got two Sues on the roster today. Sue says, hello, Stacey. Can you please pull a card for me? Thank you so much. Let's pull a tarot card for Sue.
All right. Hey, Sue. So happy to see you on today. All right. So we're going to pull a card for, let's do what energy wants to become your vow this week. I just think that's such a cool question that came through. All right. Ooh, you got Ace of Flames. So Ace of Flames, it's Ace of Wands. This is a card of inspired action. Aces are all about new beginnings. It's pure potential. So when we're saying what energy wants to become my vow this week, it's the energy of pure potential. So I feel that there's a lot of newness, a lot of new beginnings that are coming into your space this week. A lot of opportunity that's going to be fresh and something that you've never quite seen before, but it's going to be very doable. And I see you hemming and hawing over these things. And I want to say to you, don't hem and haw. The opportunities are showing up. Of course, take a minute to consider it. But I'm feeling like these opportunities, it's pure potential. And you love working with pure potential. I mean, it's working with the core energy, right? It's the substance that is energy. And from that, you can create anything you want. So think about that in terms of inspired action. You're receiving inspired opportunity that is inviting you to take action in order to bring it into your world. And I really feel like the answer is yes. Consider it, but don't consider it too long because you don't want it to pass you by. And this is so your wheelhouse. This is so where you want to be. Whoever this person is that's going to be presenting this opportunity has ulterior motives, but I feel like their ulterior motives are actually going to work in your favor. And I feel that there's a level of them being, I want to say, truthful or honest or above board about what those ulterior motives are for the most part. So yeah, really cool. Hoping that makes some sense to you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and for letting me pull a card.
All right. Terry says, would love a call pro rough week. Ooh, we should do an oracle for Terry.
Okay, that sounds good. Terry, I'm so sorry about the rough week. And girl, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. As I was saying earlier in the show, it's been that way for me too. So yeah, we must be in the same energy. And I'm going to say to you, it's shifting. All right. This is the perfect card for you. Alchemizing confusion into clarity. Wow. So this week for you, everything that has sort of transpired up to this point, the confusion, the sadness, the heartache, the extreme frustration that no one has been listening to you, or they've been hearing you, or they've been listening to you, but not actually understanding or comprehending. And there's a level of resistance to understand, which is just so disheartening for you. What this is saying, this card is saying, take all of that and transmute it, alchemize it. So if we're talking about alchemy, it's the art of turning lead into gold. If we use it more practically, it's taking, average or everyday ordinary resources or experiences or certain things that are, energetically one thing and combining them or shifting them up or repurposing them in your life to make them more, I want to say, more meaningful, more helpful. And the alchemizing confusion into clarity, I feel that all of the stuff that has transpired for you this week, it's to bring you to a real space of awareness that there's someone that is not working on your behalf, and that this someone may need to be, I want to say, shifted. I don't necessarily mean they need to be shifted out of your life necessarily, but they need to be shifted in terms of the role they play, or in terms of how much you invest in their opinions, how much you invest in their skill sets, and how much you rely or lean into their version of support towards you. So alchemizing confusion into clarity, this is a gift for you. It's saying all of the ick from this week can literally be transmuted into the gold that is the clarity for you. And in that, you're going to be able to basically let go and release what has been sort of coming through for you, and you're releasing it entirely. And I feel that you're going to start kind of like from scratch. It's almost like a clean slate or blank slate, but you're bringing some of the awareness and you're bringing the clarity into that space. And that clarity holds some of that wisdom and lesson learning from that, so that as you move forward, you're going to lay a very different foundation for yourself moving forward. And that foundation is going to be much more supportive of you and your needs, not so much about anyone else's. It's about you and your needs. And anyone who is unhappy with this choice, I want to say they can go suck a lemon, because that's just the way it is. You need to do you. You need to put yourself first. And ultimately, we know that when we do put ourselves first and we do what brings us happiness and joy, it fills our love cup to full and overflowing. And we're able to do that to serve others in that level of capacity, rather than trying to serve always from the glass half full, cup half full. So I hope that makes some sense to you. Sending you lots and lots of love, lots of energy, and just know that you aren't alone. I totally feel you with the hellish week. So feeling that it's going to get better from this point on.
Oh no, the fire alarm battery's dead. Now it's starting to do that thing. That's so annoying. What was the first question? Because I have two questions to pop up, and I feel like they're very specific questions, but I feel like the first question you ask is going to serve them well. What was that first question?
First question is, what energy can I use to bring more awareness to my A game?
Oh, okay. That's a very good question, because Sue is asking what guides help with weight loss and finances. But I think that's an energy question. Like, and then the second question was about what energy I should focus on, correct?
What energy wants to become my vow?
Yeah, your vow. So that's an energy vow right there, because both of those things require a lot of energy.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of energy.
So Sue, the guides that help with weight loss and finances, what I'm going to say to you here with the weight loss is the archangel that's coming up for you, and I feel that it's archangelic energy for you. The archangel actually, you've got two archangels, Raphael and Gabrielle, two heavy hitters. So Raphael, I wouldn't say that either of these is specific to weight loss, but Raphael is coming through because he's saying that the weight loss issues that you are seeing as issues really is about protection, gathering protection on the body, because you have not felt safe or comfortable in your own skin. And so Raphael is saying we need to get to the core of the matter, which is the healing energy, getting to that space where, okay, I heal this wound. I recognize that I know I am safe. I'm safe in my body. I'm safe to be me. And I am safe to shed this weight and step more fully into my ideal or my ultimate health, the optimum health. In terms of finances, and I wanted to say Archangel Gabrielle is coming through as well. So she's the archangel of communication, but I'm also hearing mothers. There's a connection to mothers and mother energy, divine feminine, but also sort of a nurturing energy. And you need a little bit of nurturing. I feel like the weight loss thing for you, maybe you're kind of beating yourself up over it. Maybe you're saying things to yourself that are, putting you in the space of, why can't I just, get this sorted out? Or why is this not happening? And it's almost like you're thinking that there's something wrong with you. So Archangel Gabrielle is coming through to kind of talk a little bit about that self-love and self-care in terms of how you're communicating with yourself. And I feel that that's a direct connection to the cards that we pulled today in the general reading. In terms of finances, let me see who wants to come through for you. So I'm seeing for you a scribe. Feels like this is a guide. This is a spirit guide that is coming through from your team. Really long flowing robes. Works for a priest, I want to say. So not a priestly energy, but works for a priest or works for a group of priests. And it feels very much that the scribe is taking notes. The scribe is counting the coins, is in charge of taking notes. There's someone else who is in charge of the treasury, but they are in charge of keeping that person in line. And I feel like this scribe is coming through for you in regards to the sort of the finance energy, because it's kind of like a checks and balances. There's somebody that needs to sort of be, I want to say, maybe you get an accountability partner is what this kind of feels like. The scribe wants to come in and say, you need someone that can see it from a different perspective and can write things down. Or maybe this is an indication that you might need a new accountant, or that you want to maybe switch your banks, or really evaluate where all the money is and make some decisions around where it needs to be, or breaking it up into smaller chunks. But there's definitely something here around the energy of scribe as your guide that wants to connect. And I feel like you can just call on your scribe. That's what I'm hearing. And he's taking notes on a scroll. He is adding, he's subtracting, he's accounting. And consider an accountability partner in relation to finances. That can look like a lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to let someone into your finances, but it could simply be, having a friend where, maybe you're spending too much, or you're not spending enough, or you're feeling that you're falling into lack and scarcity. This can be a friend that you reach out to and you're like, I'm struggling. I feel like I got nothing. What do I do? And this is a person who lifts you up and says, take that 25 cents, and you want to bless that 25 cents and give it away, because you know that you're going to get 50 cents back, when you're doing that kind of thing. So you want someone who can really empower you and help to keep your thoughts in alignment with the energy that you're really wanting to be in, the flow of finance that you want to be in. Hope that helps. Thanks so much for tuning in and asking your question.
All right, everybody. And please remember, next week, get those questions in early. We get a lot of questions towards the end, and I feel bad because we can't get to them because we have to wrap up. Just a couple comments from there. I'm going to go over it and let you take us home. Some Lisa Fulter Shellick says, too funny. Glad she clarified the ask part. We could all use a laugh. That's always great. Dragonfly says, things in my house are malfunctioning, going through a very tough spiritual situation. Mercury retrograde, or whatever retrograde we're in, because I feel like we've been in.
Yeah, we're in like 17 retrograde.
And then Tara says, wowza. Thank you. It was on a comment that you made early, and she gave you 2 lemons. I don't know if that's your rating system. I missed the joke.
No, it's because I said suck a lemon.
That's right. You did. This has been a weird show. We've said all kinds of things that can be, if you chimed in at
you
don't know what you're watching. But thank you all for joining. I'm going to put the link into the chat if you want to see Stacy's interview tomorrow. And
yes.
Stacy, I will let you take it home.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Sending lots and lots of love your way. I'm really getting ready to release all sorts of fun stuff. Keep your eyes peeled for my membership, Ignite Your Wings, Wisdom for Transformation. We are getting ready to launch that in the next month or so. Super pumped about that. Also, a lot of you are struggling right now, and you could really use some clarity and some guidance, some direct guidance. I'd like to just throw out there, I do 30 and 60-minute readings. I call them the profound and the essential experience. We can get right to the heart of the matter. You talk to the guides and get clarity on the direction that you want to take, even just some support. And I also have a service, I don't talk about it a lot, but I have a channeled wisdom service. And this is, you saw that I do a little bit of channeling here. What I do for you in that channeled wisdom service is I tap into your specific dream team and I channel them. So it's me kind of like sitting to the side and I'm just receiving information from your dream team, and they share with you whatever it is that they feel that you need. And they often give you an opportunity to ask direct questions of them. It's a super cool experience, and it's so transformative and powerful, especially when you're struggling. So would love to connect with you in that way if that's something that you are feeling called to, or you're really just like at a loss and you need some help. You can get all of that information on my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. We also put all of that stuff in the description below in our YouTube. It is also link in the link tree in the bio in my Insta, and on my Facebook business page, The Black Feather Intuitive. Have an amazing week, guys. Take care, and we will see you next time.